So I think I'm gonna be asked this question a little bit more because I've been uploading a lot more WWE content more so than any other content over the last couple of years, because I know back in my early starts I was uploading not just WWE but TNA, AEW, even a couple of Ring of Honor and New Japan shows. I kind of tuned out from AEW over the last couple of months, maybe in the past year, I should say. The reason why is because All Elite Wrestling has kind of become a bit stalling. If you watch All Elite Wrestling in its early time period, it was very different. It was very straight to the point business, and for me, I kind of tuned out of All Elite Wrestling because it just became too. It became almost like anti of what it's supposed to be and what their identity was supposed to have. It's supposed to be an alternative to WWE. It's supposed to be an alternative to what we've seen over the last several decades after WCW and ECW went out of, WWE bought them. My thing is, All Elite Wrestling doesn't really have a direction. In the early goings, it felt like it had a direction of like, we're gonna be this company that is gonna be edgier, we're gonna be very much more compelling, we're gonna be all in your face. But I think it's really become more of like a whiny, complaining, and the fans don't make it any better. Like, there's certain people within the All Elite Wrestling fan base that doesn't make it any better, that makes it so toxic, that makes it so wasteful to kind of just tune in and watch it. And it also doesn't make it any better when the owner is outright just like tweeting the dumbest of things every single time. Like, when you're the owner of a huge company like All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan is out here tweeting stuff all the time and making his people say things that just doesn't make any sense. And try to defend the company is like, okay, cool. But I came to the realization of like, I really don't enjoy All Elite Wrestling anymore. And I kind of stopped enjoying All Elite Wrestling after the whole All In Brawlin' in 2023. And then they showed the footage and it was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. What's the reason? What was the point? Like, come on. Like, I was just like, I just really just didn't get it. I think that was the moment where it all just sank, like, for All Elite Wrestling. And for me, I just was like, you can't be doing this. Like, you can't be doing that. Like, you can't just sit here and show a footage like that to your fans and it backfires like that. So I really became like so tuned out of All Elite Wrestling. It's just like, I don't get it. Like, I just really don't get it. And then it doesn't make it any better when you're making your wrestlers say things like, this is where real wrestlers wrestle, and also like you got so much promoting on their pages and stuff. And like, I get it. Don't get me wrong, I understand. But when it's like a constant thing after these different like things come out all the time, it just becomes like, oh, what the hell are we doing? It's like, what the hell are you doing? And you constantly continue to make references about WWE, the competition, when you don't really need to do that. It's like, just why? Just why? I just don't I don't like it. I don't like when it gets to that point. It makes me tune out of wrestling. It makes me tune out of what I'm supposed to be like enjoying. And I enjoy all wrestling. As y'all know, I don't judge any kind of wrestling all the time. But I feel like I just needed to like get this out because like I want all elite wrestling to succeed. They got some of the best talent we've seen in quite some time. And also like the underutilization of talent. Good lord. You got guys like Ricky Starks, Penta, Ray Phoenix, Miro, Malachi, Buddy Matthews. There's a whole bunch of talent on All Elite Wrestling that's currently just being wasted. That you took away and thought, okay, the grass may be greener on this side and whatnot and everything in between. But it just ain't. And it's like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing wasting these guys? And then you just have Ray Phoenix under contract for injury time, and he wants to get out of his contract so that way he can go to WWE. And you know the rumors are going around about that. And Penta's probably going to make his debut in WWE on Netflix. You got Ricky Starks that wants out of his contract. You got Miro, who is healthy and it's not being used right now. You got Malachi Black, who has been underutilized. There's a lot of talent that's been underutilized. Keith Lee has been heavily underutilized in AEW compared to WWE. Good lord! You saw the run that he had in NXT. I know his main roster run wasn't great. That's because Vince McMahon was underpowered. Imagine what he could be doing right now. He's one of the best big men athletes we've ever seen. And I get it. There's some talents that are being used quite good. I'll say this. Kazuchika Okada's been looking good. Will Ospreay has been looking good. Jon Moxley, fantastic. He's one of the best talents there is. And also the utilization of too much violence in All Elite Wrestling just doesn't cut it for me. Like, I get it. You're TV 14, you're trying to be edgier, you're trying to be more crazier, you're trying to be more wild, but the utilization of blood all the time, no, just no. You don't need it. You don't need it in all of your matches. We've seen what happens when blood is utilized in the right spot, in the right place, at the right time, in any particular match, in any particular promotion, and it's like, oh my god, this is actually a moment. Now when you see blood in All Elite Wrestling, it's like, oh, there it is. There's this person that's just bleeding. Oh, there's the thumbtack spot right there. Oh, here comes a ladder. Here comes a table. All that stuff in between. Like, it kind of just ruins the flow. AEW has lost me with a lot of things. And like, I used to like watching All Elite Wrestling for its difference in what it presented. And then it just got into too much controversy, too much nonsense that just didn't make any sense. The booking has been lackluster and just feels like it's been WWE like. And can I just say this? Like, you have some of the best women's talent of all time, and the women's roster just feels like the absolute pits. It just feels like the absolute worst. Toni Storm's great. I love Toni Storm, but I didn't get the timeless Toni Storm thing at all. I know some people are probably going to get on me in the comment section. They're going to be like, that's because you didn't watch it and everything in between. Like, I tuned in. Like, I'm not going to lie. I tuned in for most times of watching Toni Storm and timeless Toni Storm stuff and everything in between. But it didn't get me. It didn't get me like a Rhea Ripley or even a Mariah May or Willow Nightingale. Chris Statlander turning face to heel to face again. Why? Just why? That kind of stuff just doesn't make any sense. Like, why she would turn on Willow and had a great storyline going, just to turn face again and leave Stokely? The whole devil thing was just just so stupid. And the long-term story of like trying to push that forward, I get also that there's also some things in WWE that also doesn't make any sense in terms of long story booking or storytelling booking, like the Austin Theory face turn or the Judgment Day. Cody Rhodes as a babyface. But some of those things know how to work compared to what we've been seeing in All Elite Wrestling. The Elite turning heel and then out of nowhere just changing the storyline in just thin air. From the Elite versus AEW to AEW versus the Death Riders. Ah, man, just, I don't know. And I just, for one thing for sure, want to say this. They need to protect their they need to protect their people a lot more. A whole lot more. You can't have Adam Copeland at 50 some years old jumping off the top of a cage, breaking his fucking leg, and just like having him out of action when this is like the final stages of his career. Come on now. Come on. That's just so stupid. It's so stupid. That was just ridiculous. I know that he probably went and said like, oh, it's fine to do this spot and whatnot. But come on. Come on. No, man. I'm sorry. That just can't happen. That really can't happen. So, as somebody that used to like All Elite Wrestling, and I still will tune, like I said, I'll still tune in here and there. I'll probably tune in, perhaps maybe tonight, to All Elite Wrestling. I just don't like it how I used to. There's so much that was good about it that's turned into like so much misfire. And it sucks because they got such potential to be great. They got such potential to be fantastic. But they just are wasting it. They're wasting it so badly. And also like the backstage camaraderie just ain't. That just hasn't worked out well, has it? So many arguments and brawls, and it just doesn't make any sense. So that's just me just giving a rant about All Elite Wrestling. And I know some people will have some opinions about it. Some positive, some very negative. And I'll take that. I'll look into the comments. And as you know, I always read all the comments. I always reply to all the comments. And if you leave something, I will get to it. And I'll give you my thoughts on it at the end of the day. But I feel like I needed to get this video out because it just felt like it was a necessary like kind of rant that I just wanted to go on. You're going to hear a lot more of these kind of rants in